Good morning, Year 6. Right, today we are going to start with the word of the day, and today's word of the day is pudgy, means kind of fat. Okay, somebody is pudgy. Synonyms are fat. Lardy is a kind of slang word to say somebody is fat or obese. It's an adjective, it's a describing word. Can you write me a sentence, please, using the word pudgy? Okie dokie. So, quick bit of grammar, really quick today. All I want you to do is finish these similes. There are only 3. Can you write them down on a piece of paper or in a Word document? I really don't mind. You do not need to hand these in, but you do need to do them, okay? So, as fat as a, don't know. As thin as a, I don't know. As wrinkled as a, okay? I don't know what you, I don't mind what you write. Try not to go for something too obvious, though. Okay, hopefully you've written them down. If you're really struggling, here are my ideas. So, as fat as a waddling grey hippo, bit of movement in there. Okay, as thin as a blade of grass waving in the breeze. Do you see how I've added a bit of extra information in the subordinate clause there? Waving in the breeze gives you a bit more info. And wrinkled like Anne, so I've changed it from A to Anne, ancient elderly elephant. Nice bit of expanded noun phrases. So hopefully you've come up with your own. If you have, well done. And then today we are going to start our character description. So we are going to focus today on the physical side of the description. And there is a rubric today for the whole of this week, in fact, and it's going to be the same across each lesson that we do. And these are your aims. So if you are working on a uni, you can write a character description using just one element of the toolkit. It's up to you which element it is, but you can only use one. Okay. If you're working on a multi, you can use 2 or more, okay, elements of the toolkit, and I will recap what they are. Okay. If you're working as relational, not only are you using the elements of the toolkit and sort of 2 or more, but also you're varying your sentence structure. You're thinking about who you're writing for. If you're working at extended abstract, you are using clear authorial, I can't say it, can I? Intent to write your character description. That means as you continue writing your description, it comes across whether this person is a bad person or a good person, depending on the similes that you use, depending on the metaphors you use. You are using varied sentence structure and you're putting it all together as one. To be extended abstract in writing in year 6, you really are writing almost like an author yourself, okay? And it doesn't matter if you're copying the style of someone. In fact, that's to be encouraged. Okay, so what makes a successful character description? First of all, you need to remember your audience. Do you remember we're writing for people of your age, so 10, 11 and up, and adults? You need to use precise vocabulary, and there are tools that will help you do that. And these are the things that I want to be able to see in your writing. Adjectives. To use adjectives, if you only use adjectives in your writing, you're working at a structural level, but that's good, okay? Adjectives are the basis. If you are trying to push yourself on, you'll be using expanded noun phrases as well, okay? So that's 2 adjectives and a noun. You will try to use some similes. You're good at similes. Don't shy away from using them. They really help with that precise vocabulary, or you will be using some metaphor, okay, which are sort of similes with the like or as taken out. I want to see some exciting punctuation for those of you who are aiming to be working at a relational and extended abstract level. So dashes, hyphens. Could you do that thing where we put 2 words together and we use a hyphenated word like blue-eyed or flame-haired? Varied sentence structure and length. That shows me that you're a really confident writer because you're manipulating the sentences that you're writing to make them the best that they can be and the most interesting to read as a reader. Last week on Friday, I or in fact on Monday, sorry, I asked you to create a planning sheet, and you chose a picture and you came up with lots of ideas to help you. I want you to use it. The whole point of doing a plan is that you use it, and there is absolutely no point in making one if you don't. So I'm going to be using this part of my planning sheet. Now remember, I have chosen someone you can't choose because I don't want you to copy mine word for word. So my character is Mr. Bumble, and I am going to today write my physical character description of Mr. Bumble. If you're a confident writer, then in a second, you can go off and start writing. If you would like some ideas and some things to magpie, then you can watch the end of the video and then you can see what I come up with. It's entirely up to you. Okay, these are the last things to remember. Okay, just a quick recap, and I will come back to this again at the end of the lesson. Audience, precise, vocab. So if you're working at uni, you might say he's wearing brown trousers and a grey top. But if you're working at multi or relational, you need to be expanding that and using more description than just brown trousers, but dirty brown trousers or dirty deep brown coloured trousers. Similes and metaphors. Okay? Have a look at the rubric before you start writing. Where would you like to end up by the end of this week? Where would you like to start today? You might surprise yourself. Don't limit yourself. That would be my advice. Okay, so if you are confident and you know where you're going, then by all means, crack on, stop the video and start writing now. If you would like a little bit more help and a few more ideas, then hang around and we will work together. So I am now going to try to share my screen and find, here we go, the picture I've got of Mr. Bumble. Okay. For those of you who need a bit of help, we are going to look at Mr. Bumble. We're looking at just his physical characteristics today. That's all. I don't want the whole character description. So, okay. Remember, I can't really say I'm Mr. Bumble. So I am going to start writing. I'm just going to make this like, so who am I? Okay, let's talk about his face. I'm going to talk about his physical characteristics, his eyes, his nose, his face first, and then I'll start talking about what he's wearing. So let's start with his nose because it's up in the air, isn't it? So that's quite a nice place to start. So his bright red, shiny nose stuck up in the air like, ooh, see, can I use a simile here? Like, what's this? Like, what? Like a pig? You know where? Yeah. Okay. So, like a pig sniffing out. Oh, his next snack. Right. So you can't see that because something's gone awry here. So if I click on, oops, sorry. If I click on my picture, I can text wrap it. There we go. Like a pig sniffing out, or snuffling would have been better, wouldn't it? Snuffling out his next snack. Also, it kind of using that kind of language, like using a pig in particular, I can later on talk about the fact that he's fat. And it gives my reader an overall idea that actually this guy is a bit greedy. Okay. So his bright red shiny nose stuck up in the air like a pig snuffing out his next snack. His pudgy round face was wrinkled, and his tiny black eyes peered from beneath his eyelids like dark, malicious. So malicious means mean or nasty. Coals. Now, talking about using ambitious punctuation. So a dash. Always on the lookout for mischief. His fat, wet mouth pouted cruelly as he drags the boy behind him. Now, how can I describe this coat? Let's look at the coat. So I could describe it as blue, but then I want to push myself up a bit. So I could describe it as golden royal blue. Or I could really push myself up a bit and then describe it as like a sort of like a peacock blue. So let's go. Here's peacock and then hyphen blue. Yeah, because it's a hyphenated word. Here's peacock blue coat. Billowed out behind him. The gold. Now, this bit where you have something going down the side is called brocade. The gold brocade glinting in the sunshine. His buckles too shone silver like fish up on the road. Now I'm going to try and use a subordinate clause first here, so I'm showing I'm varying my sentence strength. Over his round. Now, have I used round? I have used round. How could I describe his round? Barrel. Test here. Now scarlet waistcoat. Ought to remain buttoned. His stomach made a desperate bid. Okay. So I've used some similes in here. I've used lots of expanded noun phrases, loads of that, so I can be confident that I've done that well. I haven't really used a metaphor yet. Let's have a look, see if I can put one in. Could I take something out? Like, I could take like out, couldn't I? I could do stuck in the air and I could put in a semicolon, a pig. So I've taken like out. Do you see how I've done that? Just taken like out and then I've changed it into a metaphor. A pig snuffling out his next snack or next victim, maybe. I don't know. Let me read it all to you. His bright red shiny nose stuck up in the air, a pig snuffling out his next snack. His pudgy round face was wrinkled and his tiny black eyes peered from beneath his eyelids. So I can always edit that and add in anything. When I read it back, that's why we do this. Like dark, malicious coals, always on the lookout for mischief. His fat, wet mouth pouted cruelly as he dragged the boy behind him. Let's change his, because I've said his quite a lot. Oh, don't do that, Mrs. Ferguson. Don't lose it all. That would be a disaster. A peacock blue coat billowed out behind him, the bold brocade glinting in the sunshine. Hinting, let's add in something more here, because that's what we do when we add it. We add a little bit more in. Hinting at his wealthy. His buckles, too, shone silver like fish on the road. Over his barrel chest, a scarlet waistcoat fought to remain buttoned as his stomach made a desperate. Right, okay. I'm quite pleased with that. I might come back tomorrow and change it. And sometimes the best thing to do is write something, get your ideas down, and then go away from it for a bit and go back and look at it. So I've concentrated only on his physical description, and that is all I want you to do today. Just what your character looks like. Use your planning sheet. Let me see if I can find my planning sheet just to make sure there isn't anything that I have forgotten. Here we go. So nose in the air, lots of chins. I've mentioned that. He's quite fat. I've mentioned his short legs, so perhaps I could go back and add that in. I've talked about the scarlet waistcoat. I've used lots of these ideas that I have. So that thumbs up for me. Okay, so I want you now to go find the planning sheet that you've done, and I want you to go and do your writing. Remember, I don't want you to give it in. If you get stuck, then please ask for help. I won't be posting my description of Mr. Bumble because I want you to be writing independently today. If you have any questions, though, you can get hold of me. Have a great day, Year 6, and I shall see you on Thursday now for our next lesson.